A beautiful morning to you. You're welcome to Sports Talk on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Kingsley Mano. Very happy to be here this morning. So sorry, of course, for coming a little bit behind time, but we're here to make sure we bring you the latest revolving around the beautiful world of sports. And of course, it promises to be another exciting edition today, as we shall take a look at all that happened yesterday in the UEFA Nation League, as well as tennis as well. We hear Rafa Nadal has confirmed his retirement, and of course there's going to be a volleyball championship in Abia State down here in Nigeria. We'll take a look at all of this, as well as other stories revolving around the beautiful world of sport this morning. Promises to be an exciting one. I will urge you to sit tight, as we're very ready, of course, to unravel all that you need to know revolving around the beautiful world of sports. Stay with us, we'll be right back. welcome back to Sports Talk on Atlantic Television Network, and of course, we're ready to bring you all that you need to know revolving around the beautiful world of sport this morning. It is the international break, and the Super Eagles of Nigeria, of course, will be locking horns against Libya today at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. And joining us this morning to take a look at the situation of things as it concerns the preparation of the Super Eagles of Nigeria ahead counter is Mr. Siri Domwiti. Good morning to you, Mr. Siri, and welcome to the show this morning.
Well, greetings from Uyo, you around in the studio and director.
All right, Mr. Siri, we understand, of course, you've been there to you for at least a day now. Tell us, what's the preparation like for the Super Eagles of Nigeria ahead of today's encounter?
Well, ahead of today's encounter, we did arrive here yesterday and looked around. Like I mentioned, the atmosphere is crazy. So much expectation from the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Yesterday, the two teams had their first feel of the turf. First was the turn of the Mediterranean Knights of Libya. They came in very happy and exuberant. We had a feel for about 20 days on the turf and had the exercises and the tactical training sessions that was closed from journalists. But I think they are very optimistic that they can result here at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium. From the way they train, from the enthusiasm, we're not allowed to talk to the players, but the officials were our opinion that they are in Nigeria. A point from the Super Eagles of Nigeria. They look very young players from what we saw from afar, and we hope that they can give Super Eagles some kind of run for their money. But the Super Eagles, after the Mediterranean Knights of Libya did train and left the pitch, the Super Eagles arrived the same pitch at about after 6 p.m. Nigerian time yesterday. And under the vocal eyes of Coach Austin Leguavon and the captain of the team, what is it now? Calvin Chusekong. Took Madrid press in the pre-match, and we spoke to them. And Leguavon was of opinion that the Super Eagles have a strategy in getting all 3 points in this encounter. And this was echoed by Chusekong as well, who says the players are in very good shape. From what we saw of the team when the section was open, there is no Victor Sime in this squad, but all the 23 players have arrived camp, and senior man Kelechi Iheanacho is there to maybe take over the position of of Victor Sime. We don't know what the starting lineup will look like, but Victor Boniface is here. Everybody, all 23, like I mentioned, is in camp, and we saw them in a live training session yesterday. When it was time for tactical, of course, the journalists were asked out of the stadium for tactical training. But all the Nigerian players are in good shape. I saw Victor Sime, of course, and you can see there all of them in that section. Victor Sime was in the, I'm sorry, all this man from Fulham.
Calvin Alex Iwobi.
Not Alex Iwobi was there. Boniface was there. Taminu, a lot talked about him, was there as well. But the big discussion we had here yesterday was who gets to start in goal? Is it Manuka Okoye? Or is it the first choice goalkeeper Salim Mabali? A lot of people believe that with the quality of opposition coming from the Libyans, that Stanley Wabali should maybe take a seat and allow Manuka Okoye to show why he has continued to improve in his team this season. But I think that decision will be taken later today when the coaches will make up their lineup. For me, why do you have to change, a team that has given you a result? I'm not too sure Austin Leguavon will fall for that, maybe having to change the starting lineup and bringing Manuka Okoye in goal for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But I think overall, the team spirit is good. We saw them in that light workout yesterday as well. And all of them are ready. Overall, in terms of preparation, the people who are quite upset are looking forward to this encounter. Weather was very good yesterday. From the look of things, today it is still very good. We understand tickets will not be sold anywhere at the gates. Even yesterday, we saw tickets being sold around the stadium. From what we have been told by locals here, the tickets will be sold outside the stadium premises, not close to the gates, but about the stadium premises, and of course at designated points here. But it looks funny because one thing prediction where in the previous encounters of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, they sell tickets and just about when the match wants to start, they notice that the stadium is not completely off. So they throw the stadium open, and in a twinkle of an eye, you see the stadium filled to capacity. I'm not too sure there will be any different this time around, but so far we've seen where the tickets have been sold around the stadium yesterday, and hopeful that that will continue today. There's some kind of level of order as well around the team. So it promises to be thrilling. We've seen the results of matches played across Africa last night, and you begin to wonder. You remember the Black Stars of Ghana playing at home and drew, and a lot of funny results came out last night. So many goals. So we hope it will be the same here. There will be goals galore here in the Gospel Bible Stadium. As usual, the turf here is excellent. I had an experience on the turf myself while the teams were training, and you know that yes, this is the well-maintained grass, natural grass turf here at Gospel Bible Stadium.
We got a report that despite not being in the list, that Victor Osimhen is in camp to cheer up the players. Can you help? Can you confirm that for us?
Yes, I saw that report yesterday as well, and I was laughing because when I looked at the report, the person who put up the report did that 12 hours, before we did even arrive here. And I was, like I mentioned, at Gospel Bible Stadium yesterday. I looked around, yes, and I didn't see any trace of Victor Osimhen around the team at all. He was not at the stadium, at least between 6:30, 7 p.m. when the team trained yesterday. I didn't see him at all. There was no Victor Osimhen. So I was surprised when that report came up, and that even got me. I had to look again and again. I didn't see Victor Osimhen. All the other 23 players were seen around the camp. There was no Victor Osimhen. At us yesterday, at the training session at the Gospel Bible. So maybe he go to the hotel, but I don't know. But like I mentioned to you, before that report, before 7 p.m. last night in the report had been sending 12 hours earlier. At least he should have been around the team, but we didn't see him at the Gospel Bible. But he was nowhere around the team at the training session last night.
A lot of talks surrounding the situation of things as it concerns the assistant coaches, talking about Daniel Ogumudede and Fidelis Ilechukwu of Enugu Rangers. Of course, we know how it was in the encounter we saw in the MPFL. How are they faring down there in New York?
Well, I think I saw them take their turns and in their respective duties at the training session, putting up cones, and of course the assistant that they had with them. They're among the two coaches. They're doing their respective from what we saw at the Gospel Bible Stadium.
All right. There's also a lot of players, and there's been reports that some players are not pleased with his presence in the team. I don't know what you make of it. I know you saw the training yesterday. How was the mood among the players down there? Especially, we heard that some are not really happy that the man, of course, was called, to join them at this time.
Well, I saw that report before I left Port Harcourt, and I specifically kept an eye on the spirit from what I saw at the Gospel Bible Stadium. I think that was a very wicked report about the team. I've been in New York here to see Tamino play. If you remember, in the match against South Africa when we came here, he was playing in the defensive position, and he was an excellent player. He was one of the best players on the night against South Africa at the Gospel Bible Stadium. So when I saw that report, I was wondering where that report came from, and I kept an eye on how the players relate to him. From the 20 to 30 minutes that I saw him here, or I saw the team here last night, and there's nothing to suggest that some players are not happy with him. That's not correct at all. Even we tried to put that question to True Second, the captain of the team, and they said the player spirit and everybody is in good shape. And like I mentioned, against South Africa, it was excellent. After South Africa, he has not played, with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He wasn't there in the last match that was played before today. So I think that report is not fair to Benjamin Taminu. Taminu, like I said, against South Africa was one of the best Super Eagles players, and he's here again. We don't know whether he will be given a starting position by Austin Eguavon, but if what we saw of him against South Africa is anything to go by, Taminu looks good to be at least part of the players that will play against the Mediterranean Knights of Libya.
All right, let's take a look at the team. Talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria, we understand that the defense very much ready. William Trusecon, Kevin Bassi, you have Simi Ajayi as well. These are very fantastic defenders that have been there. But in the midfield, Mr. Siri, there have been a lot of talks about Dele Bashiru for him to get to be in the starting lineup of this particular encounter because of his previous performance, especially with the team as well. What do you make of it? In that midfield, we have the likes of Alex Iwobi, we have Frank Onyeka, we also have Dele Bashiru. So even Frank Onyedika is also there. But there have been a lot of glamour that Dele Bashiru should be in the starting lineup.
Well, everybody has an opinion to give about the players that are in camp for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. The opinion that do matter most is what the coaches of the team think at the end of the day. And if we know Bashiru from what we've seen of him in Europe so far, he's not a bad player. Has he ever played with Austin Eguavon? And that's the question that will be answered later tonight when the two teams file up. But for me, Bashiru has not been a bad player for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and he deserves to be given a chance somewhere around the team. The most important thing that we consider here is Austin Eguavon ready to think out with this team, or is he ready to bring in one or two players, or do a wholesome change from players? Every time different players are invited to the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. This will be about the third encounter in the port return of Austin Eguavon to the Super Eagles of Nigeria, in his capacity as a coach to the team. So I'm not too sure if it would be wise of him to do a wholesome change. He might just do one or two changes from what we've seen of him in the last encounter. And so let's just wait and see what the coaches will do. But for me, I'm an apostle of not changing the team in numbers. You can change one or two in a few minutes and all of that. But try as much as possible to keep your core team. Port Harcourt, and I've followed him up since then. And he's one coach who likes continuity. He doesn't like to think out with the team in numbers. So I want to think that philosophy will still continue. Even with the Super Eagles of Nigeria, he doesn't change his team, in numbers. We saw him in New Year, even when they travel out for return leg encounter. He did not change the team that much. Just one player or two, and it will be done. So I'm not expecting any different from his team lineup this time around.
Let's talk about the attack. Let's talk about the attack, Mr. Siri. You said you're not expecting any change, but definitely there's going to be a change in the attack because there is no Victor Osimhen in that particular list. We have Victor Boniface. We also have Taiwo Awoniyi. We have Kelechi Iheanacho as a stand. Everyone is banking on Victor Boniface, taking a look at his performance and his form with Bayer Leverkusen in Germany. And the man is yet to open his goal account for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, despite being in a very fine form with his team. I don't know what you make of it. In the absence of Osimhen, you see Victor Boniface, opening his goal account, maybe in this encounter today.
Well, that has been the lip of every sports journalist. I closely listened to some journalists conduct the interview last night as well, and it goes with Akpabio Stadium. And the pressure is on Victor Boniface to show why he's in the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Excellent, I would say, in Europe, but every time it comes to the Super Eagles of Nigeria, is yet to register his name. If you're an attacker, you are built or measured in terms of the goals you have scored. He has not done that for the Super Eagles. He's had opportunities, he has not scored, and so the pressure definitely is on him to score a goal, for the Super Eagles. In fact, one of the journalists here said, Boniface will score 2 goals tonight against Libya. Well, and I will say aiming to that, and so that at least he can be among the attackers that are registered on a goal scoring sheet for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Here in Uyo, in the last match, we saw Victor Osimhen come in the last 15 minutes or so of a lot of difference for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Kelechi Iheanacho, I saw him here in Uyo in match before the last one as well. It wasn't fantastic, except he had a change from what we saw of him here last. In Sevilla, in Spain, he's not prolific. But let's hope that his work attitude and his attitude will change. He's been in here for a lot of criticism from the sports journalists here because, yes, they call him the senior man of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And he has not shown that much in his last 2 games for the Super Eagles, in his attitude on and off the pitch. Oftentimes, he is noted to be the player that comes last, to the camp of the Super Eagles every time he's invited. And when he's on the pitch, he doesn't seem to be totally committed. He seems to be playing that kind of a big man football. He's not on and looking for the ball against the position himself. So we hope that attitude will change. Yes, it's senior man, but you have to show yourself as a senior man by the way your work ethics on the pitch and on and off. Let it be that, okay, you tried your best, but it wasn't good enough. But what we saw here last time was more of a big man kind of player, not being totally committed to the team, always looking for who to blame for something, and he doesn't blame himself for what he has not done right on the pitch. And I think that's why he was substituted last time here in Uyo. We hope that in the absence of Victor Osimhen, he could start. But if he does start, then he should be able to give his very best. If he doesn't, the Super Eagles of Nigeria is not short of attackers. So everybody needs to be given an opportunity, and I'm sure if he doesn't take it this time the way he should, then he will have himself to be to play. But for Victor Boniface, everybody says this is your chance. Take it against the Libyan side that should not give a lot of trouble. We looked at what the Libyans are expected to showcase here tonight. A lot of people think that they will pack the bus, and so the Super Eagles should design a strategy of trying to pull them out, maybe get the goal scored on the counter or through set pieces, and then get their goals. But I'm not too sure the position of the Libyans should be so difficult for Victor Osimhen to register his name on the scorer sheet, not once, but maybe twice or even thrice for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So this is a chance for Victor Osimhen to prove Nigerians that yes, he is not just a Europe-based player, but he can score when he's invited for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. In the continent of Africa, football is different, but then he should be able to adapt and get the goals.
All right, Emmanuel Michael joins us this morning. Good morning to you, Michael. Welcome to the show. We're talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. What are your expectations in today's game?
Kingsley, a lot of expectation, and I want to also join my voice with that of the Minister for Sport Development, Senator John Owanena, who have also charged the Super Eagles not to be complacent in this very game. In fact, he actually charged them to go all out for all victory, and not giving chances to the Mediterranean Knights of Libya to come close to getting a point. Though their coach Al-Hassan Hadri have also stated yesterday in his press statement that they are coming to fight so hard to see if they can be able to get a point, because if you look at where they are seated, it is not in a very good position for them out there. If they fail to win this game, then their chances of qualifying for the African Cup of Nations then might just they might just kiss it bye-bye, because they just have 1 point, seated rock bottom in a position out there. So for me, I have joined my voices with so many Nigerians and Super Eagles followers out there that we should go all out for victory. When you talk about football, I think there is a golfing class between the Super Eagles and Libya. Though you may want to say that football is evolving, especially in Africa. You saw the wonders that some team did in the last African Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire, where a relatively unknown team came out there, sprang so many surprises. So I'm not expecting different from that, but then I expect the Super Eagles with the quality in their ranks to get the job done and dusted. You need to beat them. I mean, silly, not just beating them 1-0, but we need to have a convincing and a resounding victory against the Libyans, so that when we go away, in the fortnight, then it will just be more like a ceremonial game for us.
All right, Mr. Siri, dicey situation for Libya, seated bottom in that group, and they have a new coach in this encounter against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. You're there. I believe maybe you might have seen them train. How's their preparation ahead of this one?
We had at least 24 hours before we saw them last night. At least they came in. They went through their exercises in a very happy form. They don't seem to have any injury concerns. And you mentioned there's a new technical crew attached to the squad, and that shows that players are going to have problems trying to adapt to the maybe new formation that the coach will introduce to the squad. It's always difficult when you bring in a new coach in the middle of a competition or preparation for the players. So I think the Libyans too will have a little bit of any signs of difficulty of trying to adapt to the formation the coach will bring to the squad. It may not be too different from what they are used to before, but again, having a look up will help them to maybe improve. When there is new coach to the squad, all the players try to impress the new coach, and so there will be a much difference from what we've seen of them in the past. If you are thinking that the Libyans are here to be rolled over, then I'm not too sure that would be correct. In African football, there are no minnows. If you look at what happened last night, the Black Stars, they find it funny. This is their second draw, and they are fast not being respected. That you think Sudan will be pulled over by the Black Stars of Ghana. It didn't happen like that. There are no minnows in football. We must show respect to the Libyans. It might not be a 5-6-0 defeat or even 4, but that's the level which football has gone on the continent. So I think they will deserve the respect that should go to them. With the new coach, like I said, all the players will try to want to prove, and impress the new coach, and that zeal to impress the new coach will impact on the results of the match at the end of the day. So I think for now, they have arrived with you. They have felt the tough last night, and they are ready to go. Especially when the coach did mention, that there are no injury concerns in the squad.
All right, sir. Let's say it goes. Promises to be an exciting encounter today, 5 p.m. Of course, the kickoff time of that particular one. Super Eagles of Nigeria against Lagos Lapabio International Stadium. I'll look forward to see how the will pan out. But we saw some shocking results yesterday in the AFCON qualifiers, but Algeria were able to stand tall in that encounter against Togo. It ended 5-1. Burkina Faso were able to beat Burundi 4-1. But shocking results we saw yesterday. Cape Verde couldn't get past Botswana 1-0. It ended in that encounter. Michael, what do you make of that result? Cape Verde, Botswana. Botswana really improving. Even in athletics, they just concluded Olympics. We saw Tobago, one of their athletes, winning the 200 meters event, and now they are maybe stepping up as well in football. Couldn't beat they beat Cape Verde yesterday by 1-0.
I just want to throw the line of Mr. Siri out there. There are no minnows in African football any longer, and that is why you are seeing teams, doing everything possible to, give their opponent a tough fight, especially for those who are regulars in playing the African Cup of Nations. It doesn't matter your pedigree. When you come up against these, maybe smaller teams in quote, if you, disrespect them, they are going to disgrace you, and that is what, they did to Cape Verde are there talking about Botswana. So for me, I think African football is actually improving, and we hope to see a continuation of this improvement in African football, because it gladdens my heart to see that some of the traditional teams right here in Africa that are noted for their past success, lives of Cameroon, Nigeria, Egypt, Ghana. When you talk about African football, Ivory Coast, you can't mention any other team without at least reckoning with this team because of their past glories as well. And when they continue to get the result like everybody will expect, then it makes football boring. But when we are having some of these upsets here and there, now and then football fans will be sitting on the edge of their seat, not expecting the usual. And for me, it is the beauty of the game out there. But then, like I said, it is something incredible that we need to also commend Botswana for their feat out there.
DR Congo, of course, were able to get past Tanzania by 1 goal to nil, but Ghana, a shocking result, ended goalless in that encounter against Sudan, and of course, it caused for worry to some Ghanaian fans. Mr. Siri, think of it. What could be the problem of we have before, like list of Ghana, Samoa, and the rest of them? What is the problem with Ghana at the moment?
Last night with Ghana man, and we were both falling off with that match via the social media, and it was very troubling. And it's the same set of players we've seen of Black Stars in the last 5 years or thereabout. But the result doesn't seem to be coming their way, and it's getting very worrisome. In fact, in an address by the FA official, the Football Federation official, they were, bearing the commitment of the players. It's the same thing of players we've seen in the last 5 years. So you have to do the commitment of the players. It looks like the players don't give their best, when they come on national duties. And some analysts last night as well pinned it down to the fact that it looks like the players want to sabotage the federation officials for lambasting them for the earlier result they got at the neutral ground, I think against Mozambique or so in the match before last night. And so it looks like the players are all fingered this one. It's the same the last few years. The same players that went to the last Nations Cup. So I think it's high time the officials or talking about the coaches or maybe and begin to reject the thing, because it's the commitment of players that is on showcase, and that is why they don't see getting result. They played game on neutral ground where you should say as Black Stars of Ghana. Then they should take a game that played against the opponent that are not even playing at home. So I think it's very difficult to look this fixture. So that's the way it is for now, and I just hope that they can get something done, from what we have seen so far. It's really, really difficult for Black Stars of Ghana in the last few games we have seen of them. Like I said, it's all boiled down to the commitment of players. They have to raise their game. I think from what we've seen of them, their game, their morale of the team is low. But like you said, the officials have addressed them. Provisions have been given them allowances. They are owing them allowances, and so the players just have to raise their game. It's the same. Yes, Partey has been in that squad. I'm not sure what was in the match last night, but you see how the U brothers, the same set of players that we've seen of Black Stars. So I think the commitment of players that is lacking for the Black Stars. That's why they're getting the results we have seen of them in recent past.
All right, let's say it is. We hope that the Black Stars of Ghana, of course, will bounce back in a very impressive fashion. It's really been a very, a poor display for them for some time now. But let's see if we can bring you some results from the UEFA Nations League as Latvia lost to North Macedonia 3-0. Moldova beat Andorra by 2-0. Austria beat Kazakhstan by 4-0. England, they lost to Greece 2-1. Mr. Siri, were you surprised with that result?
I watched that match last night and I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Greece scored first.
Yeah.
And the players struggled until the Real Madrid player Bellingham scored that fantastic equalizer, and after that goal was scored, we saw him urge the fans and everybody to be behind the team so as to getting the much needed winning goal. And from goal, you could see the winning goal coming from the Greece player there. And there was no time again, in added time, the struggle. Is the unbeaten record of the English national team, stopped by, for me, most unlikely candidate, Greece. Wow. No one will expect that Greece would go to, Wembley and beat the English national, the Lions by 2 goals in a match where they needed results. And it's like we say, there's no meaning in football. If you remember, the English teams were in the final of the European, the UEFA Cup, and you Nations League. You think that they have what it takes to take out the Greece, but that's football for you. It is changing by the day, and that unbeaten record of the team tainted there by no other person or no other team than the Greeks and national team. So that's football for you. If you take things for granted, you could be punished. There was not belief by the Three Lions that they would score, and when they did it up till that 60-something minutes, getting that equalizer, they felt that they could get it better, but it didn't turn out right. That goal, the winning goal for the Greece national team, came at the time when they could not act, in spite of a lot of pressure on the defense, on the goal line of the Greece national team. So that's what it is. It happens, and when it starts like this, it could be very, very dangerous. I hope it can recover back soon.
All right, we also saw Finland. They lost to Republic of Ireland 2-1, and Gibraltar they beat San Marino 1-0. Israel lost to France by 4-1. Italy, Michael, played to a draw against Germany. What was a very dicey encounter yesterday?
It was a massive game to watch, a mouth-watering one. We saw everything into that very one. Temper flaring. We saw hard tackles. We saw different kind of thing in that game. A proper, game you want to say. But then the home side, talking about the Azzurri, the Italians, they took the first lead. They had, the Belgium had to dig deep to come back into that very game, and ended in 2-2. I think it was a proper game. I actually enjoyed the game. Then you talked about that England loss yesterday. I think the reason why Greece were extra motivated to go all out for all 3 points was the fact that they were just trying to honor one of their players, one of their heroes who just passed on 48 hours ago, talking about George Balde, who was playing for Panathinaikos. Of course, you know that he was born in British, but then has he traced his roots down to Greece, decided to represent the Greece national team. He just passed on a few hours ago, so they were just trying to pay him that tribute, and that is why they had that extra motivation to go all out for the victory.
All right, I think we'll call it a wrap up this point. Our time is up. We have to leave the studio at the moment. Mr. Siri, thank you very much for joining us on the show this morning. We wish you and the Super Eagles well down there in New York.
Well, I'm very sure that by the time we are back for Sports Extraordinary at 6 p.m. Nigerian time, and the Super Eagles of people will have at least 2 goals up, and they will report that live.
All right, thank you very much for joining us. Really do appreciate your time. Michael, really been an impressive morning. Impressive one this morning.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, enjoying myself right here.
We'll be back by 6 p.m. Today. Don't forget, Peace and Unity over the pathways to progress. My name is Kingsley Emmanuel. Thanks for watching.